All right. So, hello and welcome back to this week's live stream. I'm Gordon Morse, your natural English coach, and I'm here once again this week to answer your questions. Sorry there wasn't a live stream last week. Unfortunately, some things happened, so I had to skip last week. But I'm happy to be here this week and answering some questions once again. All right. So, here's our first question this week. Someone told me to hit up the library for a book yesterday. Does this mean go and take out the book? So this is a very useful and casual idiom to know in English. So hit up is basically a casual expression which means to go somewhere. It often follows let's, as in let's hit up someplace or let's go hit up someplace. You can also say, I want to hit up someplace or I need to hit up someplace. And when we're talking about the meaning of hit up, it's basically like visiting a place for a short time usually. Not really staying there for a long time, but you are going there to do something specific. So, for example, if you hit up the bookstore, it means you want to go there quickly to buy a book. Or if you want to hit up a new club in town, it means you want to go there to check it out and enjoy yourself. So here's a couple of examples that we can use. The first one is, let's hit up Starbucks on our way back to campus. So, of course, if you hit up Starbucks, it means you go and you order a drink and then you take it somewhere else. You're hitting up Starbucks. Our second example is, I need to hit up my friend's house to borrow a game. I need to hit up my friend's house to borrow a game. So this means going to your friend's house in order to borrow the game. You're probably not going to stay there for a long time because you have something specific that you want to do there. All right, here's our second question of the day. Why do many English speakers say, you know, and right when they speak casually? So this is something that maybe you've noticed or maybe you haven't noticed when you're talking to an English speaker, especially a native English speaker. Usually we use words like you know and right when we're speaking very quickly and in a casual conversation. So these words are most often used as what we call filler words, basically words that fill spaces between other words or ideas. They're generally used when someone is thinking when they're talking or they're not sure what to say. So filler words are actually very important for the flow of conversation. If someone is just talking and talking and talking, their sound of their conversation will be very much like one tone, just kind of like one sound. If you're just talking and talking and talking like this and there's just no sound differentiation between the speed and the blah, blah, blah. So that's what it sounds like if you're just talking really fast in one speed. With filler words, it helps break up that conversation and it actually helps other people listen better to your conversation. So filler words like you know or right are often used at the end of phrases or sentences. So these filler words generally don't have any strong meaning on their own. They're more feeling words and they kind of, like I said before, are used to break up the conversation flow. So I'm pretty sure almost every language has filler words. I don't know about other languages, but in Japanese, these words would be very similar to ano, nanka, eto, or sa, things like that. So when you're speaking Japanese, you probably are familiar with these words and how many people use them when they're thinking or trying to explain something maybe difficult, so they're kind of slowing themselves down in conversation. Saying things like you know or right or like are very common English filler words. So that's basically their version. So, for example, I might say like, I'm using like right now because like I want to show like an example. See how I used like 4 or 5 times in that sentence? That's a little bit too much, but there are some people who might use it that much. So, it's useful, something useful to watch out for. All right, question 3. How do you quickly explain to someone that you don't understand what they said? This is, of course, a very common issue and not one that's easy to solve because there are many situations in which you don't really feel confident to interrupt the person and ask what they just said. So my tip for you here is that body language is the fastest mode of communication. If the other person you're talking to is watching you while you're talking, just doing a simple body language cue can help them understand that you are lost or you need something explained one more time. So a confused look is honestly one of the most universal signs that someone needs to repeat themselves. Or a simple interjection like huh or eh, something like that. So for example, if someone asks me a question or says something that I don't understand in a conversation and I need them to repeat it or to explain it, I might go, huh? See how I tilt my head a little bit? Even pretty much anybody should be able to see that as like a expression of confusion or that I don't understand. So eh or huh? That kind of thing. Very easy to get your meaning across there. Here are a couple of also short phrases that can be very useful in getting someone to explain what you were missing before. So, for example, sorry, I didn't get that. Sorry, I didn't get that. Or, come again? Come again? That one's very short, and sometimes if you say it too fast, the person will not actually hear you saying it. So make sure to say it clearly. Another one is, can you run that past me again? The phrase run that past me means explain it to me one more time. So all of these phrases are great ways of helping you explain to someone that you need to say something again because you didn't understand or you didn't hear. Here are also 2 more phrases that you can use if you need to get something more specific from the person. So you can say, what do you mean by something? So for example, if someone is telling you about, let's say that they're telling you about their favorite band, and they say that the band is a shoegaze band. It's a type of music. But you don't understand what the phrase shoegaze is. So what you can say is, oh, what do you mean by shoegaze? So basically that's telling the person exactly what you want them to explain. Same thing with the other phrase, can you tell me more about? So if the thing is the last thing that someone said, for example, oh, this band is a shoegaze band, you can say, can you tell me more about that? So the person will know, oh, I'm supposed to explain the last thing that I just talked about. All right, question 4. How do you pronounce words like skirt or shirt properly in English? I can't say it the same way as my friends. So this is something that I've talked about in many lessons before, but it always is worth going over again. So these are what I call consonant clumps. A clump is something that sticks together. So in Japanese, most of the characters or the basic letters are vowel sounds. So a, I, U, E, O. Those are all vowel sounds. So if you look at all of hiragana or katakana, you will see that basically all of those letters, all of those characters are either a single vowel sound a, I, U, E, O, or a consonant sound plus a vowel sound. So a consonant sound is basically just any sound that is not a vowel. So in that case, ta, chi, tsu, te, to. So the T sound is the consonant and the O, A sound is the vowel. Ta is T, consonant sound, plus A is vowel sound. However, in English, we have these things called consonant clumps, which means there's a bunch of consonant sounds in a row without any vowel sounds in between them. So English can have sounds that are consonant, two in a row, like crash, crash, or even three consonants in a row, like angry, angry. See, ng, r, and there's not actually any vowel sounds in between them. So, the Romaji for skirt, which in English is consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant sound. Now, keep in mind that it's important to remember we're talking about the sounds and not the letters, because depending on the letter in the word, that letter can actually have more than one sound, or there's 2 or 3 letters that make one sound. So just remember that we're talking about sounds and not letters or characters. So s, k, t. So we have the S consonant, K consonant, I, the vowel sound, t, the other 2 consonants. But in Romaji, we have sukato, sukato, sukato. I bet my pronunciation is pretty bad, but you see CV, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, sukato. So that's just the way that Japanese works, which means that words like skirt are very hard to say in Japanese, and also when you're learning English, it's hard to master their pronunciation. Let's look at shirt. So the SH, even though SH is 2 letters, it's actually just one sound. Sh. You don't have to change anything about your mouth when you're going from the S to the H. Sh. It's just one sound. So it's the sh consonant, I is the vowel, is one consonant, T is second consonant. Shirt, which becomes in Romaji chatsu, chatsu, which is consonant vowel sha and consonant vowel tsu. So it's just important to practice these consonant clumps and be aware that you should be putting several consonants together. That is very important to practice if you want to sound natural in English. So here are a couple of examples to practice. I love the colors of your skirt. I love the colors of your skirt. Or, the shirt I wore today got all wet. The shirt I wore today got all wet. Number 5. A colleague didn't understand me when I said 30. What's wrong with my pronunciation? So, there are 2 pronunciation problem areas in the word 30, which is the th at the beginning and in the middle. So the Romaji for 30 is sati, sati, which if you say it to a lot of native English speakers who don't know Japanese, they will probably not even understand you are trying to say 30. So conveniently, this word is used in a place you probably know pretty well. Sati wan ice cream. Sati wan ice cream. So in English, we call this place Baskin Robbins, as you can see in the English sign right there. But in general, it's sati-1 or 31. So to make the TH sound, you want to say th. The key here, the key is your tongue should be between your teeth. And just blow air out. Th. Easy. 30. Now, the other tricky one is the sound. In the Romanji, it's sati, sati. But we want to have the the deeper R sound. A couple of tips for making this sound. Number one, close your mouth more. So when you're making the your mouth is still a little bit open, right? But we want to make the So watch the difference between my mouth when I say these two sounds. See how my mouth closes more when I say Also, your cheeks right here are pushed inward more. Is a horizontal, which means this way. Horizontal shape. See how my mouth is? Horizontal. However, has a vertical shape. Vertical being like this. So, my cheeks go inward, my mouth closes more. Try it for yourself. It might be confusing at first, but the more you practice, the more you'll understand. So, try these sentences. 33 and a third. 33 and a third. Or, I heard 30 thirsty birds. That's one's very tricky. That's one what we call a tongue twister or hayakuchi kotoba. I heard 30 thirsty birds. All of those sounds and all of those sounds. I heard 30 thirsty birds. All right. And now here is our question for this week. What places do you hit up most often during the week? So maybe you have a favorite restaurant or a park, or maybe you go to your friend's house every week. So think about the places that you like to hit up most often during the week and give us your answer. I recommend that you record your answer on your phone or your computer so that afterwards you can listen to your own voice and work on correcting your pronunciation. All right, thanks as always for watching. If you ever have a question about English or want me to correct your grammar or pronunciation, just leave a comment in the live stream or on one of the videos. I will be able to see it and respond. Also, please think about adding a like or sharing this video, because the more people that see these videos, the more content I can create for people who want to learn English this way. And of course, as always, if you want me to check your English strengths and weaknesses, you should go to my website right down there on the screen, and you can fill in a free natural English assessment. Totally free. All right, see you next week. Have a good one.